Why Toto Wolff confronted Horner and F1 bosses. Did you believe that the Toto Wolff vs Christian Horner matchup wouldn't happen in 2022? Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes are still qualified for an altercation round with Red Bull. Even though they aren't technically title contenders, Mercedes is still being attacked even if they haven't directly challenged the Austrian team on the starting grid. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. In this video, we will be talking about why Toto Wolff confronted Horner and F1 bosses. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, you can do so by clicking here. Well, at one point or another, why did see the conflict between Toto Wolff and Christian Horner coming up? And the attack on Mercedes was also coming. In between all this, the air is full of conflict. Let's see what it's all about. The conflict between Wolff and Horner. The 9th race of the season is presently taking place in Canada, where Max Verstappen won pole position on Saturday ahead of Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz in qualifying. On a Saturday morning, team owners met to discuss the current race season. This sparked conflict between Wolff and Horner among others. Porpoising rule revisions and the current campaign were on the table, but when Wolff became irritated, things went south. According to the story, the disagreement began over Mercedes' porpoising issues, which have existed since the season's first race in Bahrain. According to a witness, Wolff lost his control and went full Abu Dhabi, referencing his breakdown after Verstappen defeated Hamilton for the championship in the final race of the 2021 season. Along with team leaders and Domenicali, a Netflix camera crew for the docuseries Drive to Survive was in orbit during the conference. Because of this, Christian Horner, the team manager for Red Bull Racing, is alleged to have asked Wolff in jest if his outburst was only for the cameras. Although Horner advised the Austrian to address his issue first, Wolff is believed to have made the argument that other principals were maintaining the situation by upholding the regulations. Mattia Binotto, the head of Ferrari, also chimed in, telling Wolff that he shared his disagreement with his ideas and that Wolff was making a big deal out of the fact that Mercedes cars wasn't successful. The argument will continue to boil over the ensuing weeks as Mercedes' 2022 model shows no indications of advancement. After Hamilton finished 4th in qualifying and George Russell sat in 8th place, Wolff shared his concerns. Porpoising. One of the biggest highlights of the season has been porpoising. To give their drivers some solace from this issue, teams have fought and worked tirelessly. Several drivers protested the bouncing at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix and asked the FIA to issue some guidelines. Red Bull was not entirely pleased with the mid-season adjustments and expressed dissatisfaction. Wolff defended his group and retorted that it is dishonest for team leaders to attempt to control what is stated to maintain an advantage over rivals. After drivers complained of back pain, the FIA made immediate actions to assist the teams. They will publish a set of threshold for acceptable bouncing and F1 teams are encouraged to participate. Season domination. With 6 straight victories including 5 by the current world champion Max Verstappen, Red Bull and Christian Horner are utterly dominating this series. The only rivals Red Bull is concerned about are both of the Ferraris because they made an incredible comeback this year after 2 years of having trouble with the vehicle. Ferrari has been able to stay up with the Bulls to some extent. Nonetheless, there would have been intense competition between the teams if it weren't for reliability concerns and vehicles that failed to finish races. Although there is a lot of competition among teams, it's nothing compared to the battle between Red Bull and Mercedes in 2021. The rivalry between the two team principals, Wolff and Horner, frequently clashed in the media last year following an extreme start from both drivers and incidents involving both drivers pulling each other out. They also spat venom on each other's faces and backs. Max Verstappen managed to win the World Championship after one of the most contentious seasons and races, but Mercedes won the Constructors' Championship due to their superior engine from the previous year. Mercedes and their performance. The ground effect aerodynamics that Formula 1 adopted as part of the rule update for 22 has caused the bouncing phenomena, which at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix generated worries about the effects on driver health. Early on, Mercedes had been mainly blamed for the problem. The bouncing was both annoying and appeared to be hurting performance. Ferrari also experienced it more severely than the majority of the field, but unlike Mercedes, they are still competing with Red Bull at the head of the field. But many of them caution that the automobiles cannot continue to ride like the way they are because porpoising is affecting Baku drivers more widely and badly. The FIA issued a technical instruction before the Canadian Grand Prix outlining guidelines to monitor the bouncing moving forward. If teams cannot satisfy the FIA, they may be compelled to lift their cars. Not all teams supported the decision. Red Bull, who currently leads the Constructors' Championship and whose driver Max Verstappen is topping the drivers' standings and attempting to win back World Championships, was the loudest opponent. Red Bull and Mercedes. Instead of blaming last year's Formula 1 regulations, Red Bull team manager Christian Horner thinks Mercedes only has itself to blame for the porpoising troubles it's encountered. Lewis Hamilton was in pain and required time to recover before the Canadian Grand Prix after Mercedes' Azerbaijan Grand Prix weekend suffered from significant bouncing. The FIA responded to many driver concerns by issuing a technical directive explaining its plan to address the issue, but this had sparked conflict among the teams. Toto Wolff, the head of Mercedes F1, reportedly came under fire from Horner and Ferrari team principal Matteo Binotto for making up the team's issues to press for a regulation change mid-season. Wolff harshly criticised other teams' managers for prioritising politics before driver safety, calling them pitiful and disingenuous in their response. Mercedes CEO response. Horner, though, is adamant that Mercedes' problems are unrelated to the 2022 standards and emphasises that they are more a result of the company's incorrect car design. The CEO of Mercedes previously stated that he believed team managers were engaging in political games when it comes to porpoising, manipulating what drivers said to preserve or increase their competitive edge. He described their actions as pitiful. The season's 10th round in Silverstone, and despite mounting pressure, the drivers have conducted themselves well when speaking to the media. However, this cannot be stated by Wolff and Horner. The two chiefs are engaged in a verbal battle and Hamilton thinks we should get them in the ring. Although he can't make them put gloves on, we can make some fictional fights based on the F1 circuit, and that's exactly what we've done. The main event would be between two dominant alpha males. They have collectively won 22 championships, but Wolff is now the best pound for pound driver because he has won every title during his 7 seasons with Mercedes. Wolff is the Floyd Mayweather of the sport since he's never lost a World Drivers' Championship or Constructors' Championship. However, with Red Bull dominating both competitions this year, the guard may change. In response to Horner's order to silence his counterpart in June, Wolff called Red Bull's team principal a bit of a windbag who loves to be on TV. While Horner can talk the talk, the reality is that he lacks the strength and reach of his German competitor. Now that's all for this video. We hope you found it informative and we'll be back soon with another interactive video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.